Hi there, here's mental coach Shato from Tennis Academy Bauplanet in Magdeburg, Germany. Welcome to another edition of my mental training online program. Last time we began with chapter 14, the winning feeling as a result, or as a reason for our success. And last time I talked to you about how many successful people attributed their success, or at least Dr. Mautz says that their success was the result of the feeling of success within them. And he also offers an explanation for that we're going to discuss today. He says that we learn through trial and error. No matter whether you're playing tennis or something else, you make many mistakes until you find a way to do it right. And as soon as you found a way to do it right, whether it is to play the forehand or write or sing or whatever it is, your memory remembers it. It gets stored in your memory, but it also gets stored in your nerves and your tissues. Like the saying, I had a feeling in my bones I can do it, could be taken literally, and it will be correct. So our brain is composed of over 10 billion neurons, Dr. Maut says, and each of them has numerous axons, and those axons are the things that create the connections between this neuron and other neurons. And whenever you learn something, whenever you experience something, it's like, you can imagine it to be like a tape. So it's recorded on this neuron or a couple of neurons. So they form an electric path, and this path is your experience. This is how it's saved in the brain. And the interesting thing is that you can use this one neuron does not become then filled or unusable, but you can use the same neuron to form other paths. So it means that you can use each neuron many times, and you have 10 billion of those in your brain. So what Dr. Maut says is that our ability to learn and to think and to experience is almost limitless. This is what it's meant when people say that the human brain is light years, is a million times more complicated and more complex than the most advanced computer that exists or would exist for many years to come. So it's not just the experience that is recorded, but also the feeling. You also record the feeling, and when you remember past experience, that's why when you think about something that you experienced, you also start feeling it. You also evoke the feelings that accompanied it, and not just the experience. If we really focus on something that we experienced, an event that was emotional, you'd very soon realize that the emotions are still there as if you wake them up as soon as you start thinking about it. So they're also saved within this experience, within those parts of neurons in your brain. And he says that this is the reason why, for example, people at school fail, is that they don't get a chance to succeed at an early age. What Dr. Maut says that we should allow students to succeed, so give them easy tasks so they can do it again and again and again, be successful, and remember the feeling of success, and this is what then will help the student later when the tasks get a lot more difficult to solve them, because he will always remember there will be a pattern of success in his brain, and this will lead to also future successes. That's why he says that also advice from another book that he mentions is that it's sometimes very useful to lower our sights and to practice easy things. So for example, if you're a tennis player and you only practice returning a serve at 200 miles per hour, kilometers per hour, he says you should also practice returning it only 100 for some time until you build within your body the feeling of successfully returning the ball, and then again continue with the 200 kilometers per hour serve. And something similar is what somebody did. Somebody is mentioned in Dr. Mautz's book, and what he said was that he was the world champion in fast typewriting, and what Dr. Mautz what he said is that what he very often did when he reached a stage in his training where he couldn't type any faster, what he did is he would reduce the speed by half and only practice at half the normal speed to be typing, and this is what helped him, kind of gave him the feeling of success, the feeling of easiness in typing, and this is something that improved his performance and that allowed him to type even faster later on. And the crucial word and the key word that Dr. Mautz uses is being gradual, improving in a gradual speed, slowly but persistently. This is, I believe, a very good advice. You should not, many young people want to go from zero to hero. We are very impatient. We don't want to wait. We want to go to the fitness club and start weighing 80 kilos immediately. But this is not what you should do, he says. Instead, you should start with small weights so you can build within yourself the feeling that you can do it, and then gradually increase the weight until you reach then the 80 kilos or more. And by the way, Dr. Mautz also gave an example of heavyweight lifters using the exact same technique. So if they can do it, or if they are doing it, I think we or you should do them as well. That's all for today. Next time we're continuing with chapter 14. Until then.